So please choose a number from 1 to 13.
Number 9.
Okay, number 9. One, which of the following people is a medical specialist in ancient China? A. 祖冲之 B. 张仲景 C. 顾恺之
I choose B.
Correct. 2. Which of the following was not true about the Forbidden City in Beijing? A. It is one of the largest ancient wooden structures in the world. B. It was declared a World Cultural Heritage Site in 1987. C. It was a former Chinese imperial palace from the Song Dynasty.
I choose C.
Correct. 3. Which of the following is not an artistic expression of hip-hop culture? A. Graffiti. B. Rap. C. Blues.
I choose C.
Correct. 4. To pay tribute to this outstanding female writer, the Central Bank of England printed on the 2017 version of the £10 note, A. Jane Austen, B. Virginia Woolf, C. Charlotte Bronte.
I choose C.
Sorry, the correct answer is A. 5. Which of the following statements about cultural distance is wrong? A. Cultural distance originates from Edward T. Hall's theory of high and low context communication. B. Cultural distance refers to the perceived differences in values and communication styles. C. Cultural distance represents differences between people from diverse cultural backgrounds.
I choose B.
Sorry, the correct answer is A. 6. Which of the following is not true about ethnocentrism? A. Ethnocentrism is the process of judging another culture exclusively from one's own perspective. B. Ethnocentrism can be a contributing factor for effective intercultural communication. C. Ethnocentrism means that we consider the views and standards of our own in-group as more important than those of any out-group.
I choose B.
Yes, correct.
Your total score is 2 for the quiz. You may proceed.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Group 2, and we are very honored to give out our case analysis. The phenomena in our case is mainly about the Chinese overseas students, what dilemma both the students and the local campus has suffered, and how they adapt to each other. We are going to analyze on the basic structure of cultural iceberg theory. That is, what we can see on the surface is just a very tiny part of each culture. The tangible part includes the symbols, the basic cultural phenomenon, and so on. What we can see underneath the ocean is actually the bigger part, including the values and norms, the thinking patterns, and so on. I'm going to firstly talk about the tangible part. According to Great-Hofstede's onion model, every culture has 4 extents, including symbols, rituals, heroes, and values. Nowadays, more and more Chinese students are going overseas for further education, and they brought many Chinese symbols to everywhere, such as Chinese cuisine. There are many famous Chinese restaurants overseas, such as Panda Express, and many Chinese signs everywhere. And moreover, in the case, our Chinese overseas students even brought a famous Chinese recreation show called 非诚勿扰 to American campus. And according to a newly survey, can you even imagine that the famous Chinese bubble tea and a very local Chinese recreation form called 剧本杀 had even went viral in places in America, such as Los Angeles, where a lot of overseas students gathering together. However, these symbols and rituals only reflect and result in different heroes and values of each culture. For instance, we Chinese are like to gathering together. It actually reflects the collectivism of Chinese culture. And some of the overseas students only social with Chinese students. It actually shows the social distance between us Chinese is much more closer. And Mandarin is more used even in some American campus where a lot of Chinese overseas students gathering together. It actually shows the different language cultures. However, many American local students are confused or even worried about this phenomenon. That is, too much original Chinese elements may result in the origin cultural environment's discomfort and even cause some intangible cultural conflicts such as homogeneous culture. Now let's welcome my teammates to talk further about it.
Okay, thank you. And I will talk about the intangible part of the case. The theory I will mention is a homogeneous culture. It refers to the definition that people naturally assume everyone thinks alike. And it is an illusion of losing their identity as an international individual. And so it may cause overconfidence of their own culture. In the video, we can see that Chinese overseas students tend to lie in their comfort zone. They socialize with people with the same nationality or the same Asian cultural background. They don't even try to make friends with those who have different backgrounds, such as they are American students or someone they do not familiar with. But the phenomenon is prominent in this case. We can also see that from some American students, because the American students also form a small circle. They would like to make friends with their people with the same cultural heritage, with the same cultural background, and that will build a wall between international students. But also intercultural communication will be forbidden. So the culture has its diversity. Just as the scholar Fei Xiaotong says, we need to appreciate different beauties, and the diversity itself is the beauty. We need to harbor openness, communicate, and create a harmonious and civilized world with different people. Everyone can make a difference. And I believe link by link and chain by chain, we can avoid the ethnocentrism and make our world a better place through communication. That is my analysis. And what other theories is included, please listen to my next partner.
Thank you. So now I will elaborate more information about the intangible part and give some possible solutions about this question. So from this video, we can see clearly about a common phenomenon happened in the group of overseas students. That is, they can't make close friends with international students. So in other words, they are confined to a small circle. And so for most of their difficulties are not academic problems, but interpersonal relationships with other intercultural students. So how to cooperate in a new environment and a new culture smoothly? Why they encounter such troubles when they go to a new country? So just as my partner has said, we attend to approach the people who have the similar or same cultural background information instead of actively seeking for opportunities to make friends with native speaker. However, being exposed with the people who have different cultural background information is beneficial to our cultural adaptation. And actually, being assimilated by a new culture or to totally rejecting it are not good choice for an overseas student. The best choice is to combine different cultures. On one hand, we need to get adapted to it. On the other hand, we need to keep our own cultural identities and promote our own Chinese culture. So in this way, social support is really important because it can offer a great mental comfort to students living in another country. So we need to acknowledge that each person may experience different extent or different degree of cultural adaptation in different countries. So therefore, we are supposed to step out our comfort zone and positively communicating with international friends. We are supposed to have an inclusive mind to learn and admire other cultures' specialties in order to form a multicultural identity. So we need to say that this dilemma is frequently encountered in this multicultural environment. So what should we do to solve that problem? That is, we can take measures cognitively, emotionally, and behaviorally. So a case in this competition really impressed me deeply. That is building a Chinatown in Spain. The old image of Chinatown is red lamps and pagoda-shaped decorations. However, that image is not modern China looks like. So the principle to design it is to show the world how modern Chinese.
Thank you very much for your analysis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Thank you for listening.
Who's responding to my question? Okay. Thank you for your analysis, and I'm thinking about the things you highlighted about tangible symbols and intangible things like homogeneous preferences and interpersonal challenges. So my question is, if you were to be the one to go abroad to a university context like this, what would you apply from intercultural communication that would help you adapt and also find ways to bridge the connections that are needed?
Okay, thank you so much for your questions. If I have the chance to go study abroad and be the one who build a bridge between us, Chinese overseas students and the local students, to apply the IC theory, I think, first of all, I would study the IC theory extensively to adapt to the local culture as soon as possible. And furthermore, to deal with the interpersonal relationships in regards to the power distance theory, the high-low context theories, and so on. We must firstly get involved with these IC theories, because once we have learned this, it can best equip us with intercultural awareness. And once having these intercultural awarenesses in our minds, we are more likely to avoid some intercultural conflicts such as ethnocentrism and stereotype, and avoid the process of cultural adaptation, just as most Chinese overseas students, in our case, they just not willing to step out of their comfort zone. And moreover, when we Chinese students studying abroad, we are all not only the representative of ourselves, but also the representative of our nation. So moreover, when we studying abroad, I can also tell some Chinese stories to others and to let more and more people know better China. What is China actually like nowadays? And I think all in all, if I have the chance to be like an overseas student, I would act like a global thinker. That is to act locally, but to think globally. That will be all of my answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your answer. Next up, you will be telling a Chinese story. Please choose one of China's world intangible cultural heritage items in the category of traditional performing arts and introduce it to a foreign friend. For example, Peking opera, Chinese shadow puppetry, Kunqu opera, Chinese calligraphy, Mongolian art of singing, Kumei, Uyghur Mukim of Xinjiang.
Okay, thank you so much for your question. And the cultural heritage I will choose is the Chinese calligraphy. We all know there are the 4 treasures of study, and 2 of them is the writing brush and the sandpaper. And we use a writing brush to write on the sandpaper that will create the calligraphy. This form was created 1,000 years ago. And the reason I chose it because it performs the Chinese beauty, not only from its characters, but also in its forms. Each stroke carries the key to the mystery of our Chinese character. Each stroke is different. They are unique, but through organization, they can create new characters in different forms. And I think then I will come to the theory that embodies in this Chinese calligraphy. That is, I think it shows the Chinese wisdom of harmony. And I will take 2 examples. And the first is there is a very famous masterpiece called 兰亭序, written by Wang Xizhi in Dongjing. And we can know that there are different forms of the character 知, and it appears for many times, but each of them is displayed in different forms. They are not the same. So we permit the differences in our culture, and we harbors and embrace the diversity. And second, I would like to say is the 2 poets, Li Bai and Du Fu. We know they have lived many thousands of great poems in history, but also they are great calligraphers. They appreciate each other. They not only communicate each other in their poems, but also in calligraphy works. They are the example of harmony. We are different, but we have beauty in different forms. We can learn from each other, and we have the openness to study. And so, through this cultural heritage, it reminds me of an incident that happened in the Spring Festival. That is, the British Museum made a mistake that in the Spring Festival, they posted an activity called the Korean New Year in their website. And that aroused great controversy among our Chinese people, and especially those overseas students, because that really hurt our hearts. We know that this holiday belongs to our China, and it is originated in China. And to protest against it, the students, they shoot videos. So I think this is a form
Thank you, team number
to
2.
show Chinese calligraphy to the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You may now leave the stage.